Hello and welcome to New Mexico Rising. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, I got this.
Yeah, great question. It is loud, it is salacious, but it is also a very timely and real problem. You know, the inspiration came from me actually having a run-in my own neighborhood where a bear would repeatedly break into my trash and recycling, and one time came in and clearly showed a preference for alcohol.
You know, my go-to snack, I always want to bring bold flavors to any cookout. So my go-to is...
But just being aware of what their needs are with like their sports, their hobbies, and their activities that they're involved in. If you find that they're having to remove their glasses for many of the things that they're doing, that's a pretty good indicator.
Some moms will have maybe some sadness or depression after delivery, and some of that can be completely normal.
All of that and more right here on New Mexico Rising. What if you knew exactly when your life would end? Adam Silvera's hit series, They Both Die at the End, flipped the idea into a worldwide phenomenon. And now he's back with a powerful third installment, The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. The book is already making waves and marks 10 books in 10 years for Adam, who's kind of grown up alongside with the readers. We're thrilled to welcome the TikTok sensation and the #1 New York Times best-selling author, Adam Silvera. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing so well, Dan. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so let's start with the title. The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. It's kind of a bold title. What does that mean for the character of Paz and for the readers?
Well, I mean, I think every title in this series, especially They Both Die at the End, is like a bold title for this series. So I feel like I have to like keep the trend going at this point. But, you know, it was really important for me to signal what kind of story this is. You know, I think in the same way with They Both Die at the End, where I wanted to prepare readers for that ending, whether or not they believed it. I think 3 books into the series now, they trust that what I say in the title is what I mean. You know, and I like it's a book about battling mental health and mental illness, and it, you know, Paz is a character who, you know, is struggling with a will to live, and, you know, the other boy, Alano, you know, is determined to save him. And so I just wanted to write the story that about like, yeah, he may want to die and be having this ongoing battle with his mental illness, but, you know, life is worth living.
And the Deathcast universe has kind of grown into something really personal for a lot of fans. What keeps drawing you back to it as a writer?
I mean, I heard this quote one time that all great stories about love or death, and this series is definitely about love and death, and you know, and I think all my work will continue to be. It's something that I'm constantly grappling with, like questions about death and mortality, and you know, these books have been a really beautiful way for me to explore these questions that I keep asking myself over the years.
And this book also explores some like heavy stuff. It's grief, loneliness, and I guess even a group called the Death Guard. How do you balance all that with the message about learning to live?
Well, I mean, I think we're no strangers to opposition in this world and to really like terrifying times, and yet we still, it's in our best interest to find the beauty in life, right? And to find the people that make us feel safe and make us feel secure and make us feel loved, and knowing that even in the darkest of times, those people are out there, and it's really important for us to be reaching out to them. And even if we are in a place of strength ourselves, to be making sure that we're checking in on the people who might not be as strong as we are right now and might be a little bit more vulnerable.
And you've published about 10 books in 10 years. That's pretty crazy. Looking back, how has your writing and your audience pretty much evolved over that time?
I mean, it's wild. I mean, I've met some readers from the first book back in 2015 start as like freshmen starting high school, and I've now seen them exit college and get their first jobs. And some of them I've written college recommendation letters for over the years because I've known them for so long as young people who were just attending my events and always had such inquisitive questions, and were just so impressive. So it's been really wild to, you know, I started publishing when I was 25 and about to be 35 next month, and my life has changed in so many ways, and much gratitude to those readers who have gotten me to this place. And my writing has only gotten stronger because I have one rule with every book. It is for that book to be better than the last book, right? Like I can't control the quality of a book 10 years ago, right? I did the best that I could at that time, but you know, now I can be better than that last book with more time.
And you've also built a really passionate community online, especially on TikTok. How has that changed the way you've connected with readers or even write your own stories?
You know, I think sometimes there's this idea that maybe there's going to be like more pressure from having like a bigger fan base that I now am going to be like scared to write. I'm like, I mean, whether I'm writing for like one reader or like 1 million readers, right? Like my process, like the only person's like review that I can control is my own. So as long as I know that like I'm happy with the book I put out there, I will never doubt the quality of it. I'm like, okay, this book just simply didn't connect with people at this point in time. But you know, I've been fortunate enough that, you know, the energy that I put into this book is being well received by the readers who are picking it up.
The Survivor Wants to Die at the End is available now wherever books are sold. To learn more about Adam and his work, go to adamsilvera.com. Hey, thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
Thank you so much, Dan. Really appreciate it.
Becoming a parent should be exciting, but for too many women in the United States, it's also becoming more dangerous. Maternal deaths are up 34% in the recent years. And a lot of that comes down to delayed or skipped care. So what can we do about it? Today, we've got maternal health expert Nancy Parson from UnitedHealthcare to talk about why early prenatal and postpartum care matters and what support is out there, even if you don't have a regular doctor. Welcome to the show, Nancy. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
All right, for somebody who just found out that they are pregnant or even thinks they might be, what are some of the first moves that they should be making?
So the first thing that you should do when you suspect that you're pregnant is call your doctor. It's so important to get seen early and regular throughout your pregnancy. And so calling that doctor as soon as possible so that you can create that pregnancy plan that's going to work best for you.
And a lot of women delay their first prenatal visit. Why is it so important to get care early in the pregnancy?
So as soon as you go to that very first appointment, the doctor's going to look at your health history, identify if there's anything that you guys need to work on during your pregnancy. If you've had a history of substance use or opioid use, those are very important things for your doctor to know so that they can help work with you during your pregnancy to help you be healthy and to help your unborn baby. And so as a maternity nurse, I've seen throughout the years that the earliest you can go to the doctor and having really those regular routine appointments throughout your pregnancy are really going to help you and the baby. If you don't already have a doctor, you can call the number on the back of your insurance card. You can go to your local health department or call Medicaid providers so that you can get care.
And what about after delivery? Why are those postpartum checkups so important?
So during that postpartum period, your body's going through a lot of changes, both physically and emotionally. It's really important to see a doctor between 3 to 12 weeks after your baby's born so that the doctor can make sure that you're recovering well, that the baby's doing good, the baby's breastfeeding okay. If you're breastfeeding, like any support that you need. Some moms will have maybe some sadness or depression after delivery, and some of that can be completely normal. But it's important for you to go to the doctor during that postpartum period so you can be assessed for postpartum depression. So all of those things can be treated as long as you're talking to your doctor and you're letting them know any concerns that you have.
And do you have any tips to help people make the most of their doctor visits, especially when they're feeling overwhelmed?
Definitely. I remember when I was pregnant, it was hard to remember things. You're tired a lot. And so just jot down questions, like keep a notepad with you. Anytime a question comes into your mind, no matter how big or small, just jot it down so you can take that to your doctor's appointments and go over any questions that you may have. Remember that every pregnancy is different. And so it's really important for you to talk to the doctor about what's going on with you so that you can help ensure your healthiness and that of your baby too.
And finally, where can people go if they need help or finding care or support?
So you can go to everypregnancy.com. UnitedHealthcare has a healthy pregnancy quiz that you can take to find out what you already know and what information you might need to know more about. UnitedHealthcare wants to be there with you every step of the way to make sure that you have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby.
Nancy, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much.
Do you ever leave the pharmacy wondering if you just spent your grocery money on medicine? A lot of people in New Mexico and across the country are having to skip prescriptions because of the price. Today, we're joined by Divya Iyer, a healthcare expert and senior VP at GoodRx, with advice to help make prescriptions more affordable. Hi, Divya. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Great. Why are prescriptions getting so expensive?
Today, consumers are navigating what feels like the wild west of prescription medication pricing. And there's a few reasons why. Inflation is driving up the cost of essentials across the board, and that includes healthcare services and prescription medicines. Secondly, health insurance is just getting more complex and restrictive. Insurance may not cover your medicine at all, or there may be additional steps that can delay treatment. Research at GoodRx has shown that 1 in 5 Americans faced insurance hassles at the pharmacy counter last year. Even if insurance does cover your prescription, Americans today are just faced with higher out-of-pocket costs. In fact, last year, Americans spent over $60 billion out of pocket on their prescription medicines.
And how's this affecting people who need their medicine?
1 in 3 Americans didn't fill their prescription and left it at the pharmacy counter last year. That's almost 1 billion prescriptions on an annual basis. It's huge. People are also skipping doses or rationing their supplies, and this actually leads to worse health outcomes and higher costs in the long term. And finally, people are dipping into their savings or taking on additional debt.
And what are some ways that we can save money on prescriptions?
First and foremost, consumers have resources that can help them find savings options on their medicines. Most people don't know that prescription prices can vary from one pharmacy to the next, upwards of $100. So taking the time to do research before going to the pharmacy counter can result in significant savings. So first, pull up GoodRx.com or look at the app on your phone, search for the medication that you've been prescribed, and GoodRx will show prices in your area so you can compare costs in real time. Select what pharmacy you want to go to, and then just remember to have GoodRx ready to show at the pharmacy counter when you go to pick up your prescription.
And where can people go to learn more or to find some help?
People can go to GoodRx.com or download the GoodRx app on their phone. They can find savings and helpful resources, both for generic medications where there's 80% savings, and also ways to save on brand medications, which are traditionally more expensive. So it's GoodRx.com or the GoodRx app.
Divya, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Are your kids ready for back to school? That checklist might be missing one important thing, an eye exam. Experts say Gen Z is spending more time on its screens, and it's causing real eye strain. Today, we're joined by optometrist Dr. Luekenga, who's here to talk about eye care tips for teens and young adults. Welcome, doctor.
Hi, good morning.
Back to school is such a busy time. How can parents know if their kids need an eye exam?
Well, every kid needs an eye examination. Lots of vision problems fly under the radar and they're hard to detect. And so without a full eye examination, you may not know really what your children need. So right now, before school starts, we recommend getting them in for an eye examination.
And what are some signs a young person might be ready for contacts?
That's a great question. First thing, talk to your kids and find out what their wants and needs and desires are. There's no magical age when contact lenses should begin, but just being aware of what their needs are with like their sports, their hobbies, and their activities that they're involved in. If you find that they're having to remove their glasses for many of the things that they're doing, that's a pretty good indicator. And then also just kind of paying attention to what it is that they want, what their confidence level is with their peers. And maybe it's time to start thinking about something that other than glasses to help them see clearly.
And can you walk us through some of the options available and the benefits of each?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, every kid needs a good pair of glasses. That's the standard. But when it goes beyond that and you're starting to think about contact lenses, the contact lens options we have today and the technology that's been developed just in the last few years is nothing like what their parents experienced when they had to deal with contact lenses. We have the Precision1 contact lens, which is my number one contact lens in my practice. It is by far the workhorse that we use, and it was designed specifically for children, for kids, high school, middle school, and college-age kids. And the reason it's designed for them is because it gives them the performance they need with regards to comfort and vision, especially after a long day of homework and screen time and sports. They're going to still feel comfortable. They're still going to see clearly, and they're pretty easy to take in, put in, and take out. And they're easy on the budget as well. So it's really the perfect option for most school-age kids. If a one-day contact lens is not the right fit for a child, then we now have a 7-day lens called Precision7, which also offers incredible performance with regards to clarity of vision, comfort, and health.
And screen time is a big issue. What tips do you have to help prevent digital eye strain?
Well, the first thing is, again, get those eye examinations with your doctor. Talk to your doctor about what they recommend. The contact lens options that I discussed with Precision1 and Precision7, they have key factors built into the contact lenses that really help the performance when it comes to screen time. We can't get rid of screens entirely. They're going to be there. But even though that we have to engage with screens on a daily basis, limit the time that the kids are involved with screens. The unnecessary screen time, reduce that as much as you possibly can, and then just encourage frequent breaks. Every 20 minutes, they should take a 20 or 30-second break and look away from that screen.
And where can viewers go to learn more?
The best place to find out more about these contact lenses and how they can help benefit your child is to navigate to precision.myalcon.com. Go to precision.myalcon.com, and you can find out all the information you want about these contact lenses and how they'll benefit your child.
Dr. Luekenga, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Looking for a new place to rent can feel really overwhelming, especially in the summer months when so many people are searching. Today, we are joined by Amanda Pendleton, Zillow's home trends expert. She's here with 4 smart tips to help you save time and money, and maybe even score a deal on your next rental. Welcome, Amanda.
It's great to be here, Abby. Thanks for having me.
Your first tip is to search smarter. What's the best way to do that?
So we know the most affordable rentals are flying off the market in a matter of days. So speed really does give you a competitive advantage, and digital tools help. Move-in date filters, pet-friendly toggles, 3D tours, interactive floor plans. These can all help you narrow down your options online. So you're touring fewer properties in person, which saves you a lot of time, and you're ready to jump when the right one comes along.
And you say renters should understand the full cost. What else should they look at besides monthly rent?
Well, there's pet fees and amenity fees and the security deposit, right? All the hidden fees involved in renting really do add up. Well, now on Zillow Rentals, we're unhiding those hidden fees. We're providing a full breakdown of the monthly charges, those one-time upfront costs, and then any additional fees that you may have to pay. And it's fully customizable too. So let's say you've got a cat and you've got a dog, but maybe you don't have a car. You just check those boxes and you'll see what your estimated monthly total will be. This is one of 5 new tools Zillow just launched last week, and we're really excited to bring it to every listing on Zillow Rentals.
You also say there's a way to save on application fees. Can you explain how?
Your typical application fee is $50, and we know most renters are submitting at least 2 of them. Zillow's got one universal application fee, $35. You can apply to as many eligible properties as you'd like within a 30-day period. So it saves you a bit of money and saves you time as well, filling out all those forms.
And what are concessions, and how can negotiating them help renters?
So when you're in a competitive rental market, you're not going to have a lot of leverage to negotiate on the rent itself, but you can ask for a concession. So what's a concession? Well, maybe it's a reduced pet fee, or it's free parking, or it's a month of free rent. We know that 41% of all rentals in the Albuquerque metro offer some type of concession. So if the property you're interested in is not offering one, that's a pretty good place to start.
And where can people go if they want to learn more?
So we have a great renter resource center at zillow.com/learn/renting. And of course, if you're in the market for a new rental home, Zillow Rentals is the #1 most visited rentals network.
Amanda, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Are you still clinging on to the last few weeks of summer? Yeah, same here. If you think about squeezing in one more backyard bash before the season winds down, you know, our next guest has got you covered. Chef James Briscione is a chop champion, a cookbook author, and a regular on the Food Network. And he's here to share some easy, stress-free ideas to level up your summer get-together. Welcome to the show, Chef. How are you?
Hey, Dan. Great to chat with you. Thank you.
All right. You've been part of some of the most epic kitchen battles. Why do you think people just get as fired up about hosting something simple like a backyard party?
Listen, I mean, no matter what you're doing, it's all about good food and good times. I mean, you know, you don't get to be the first ever 2-time champion on Chopped or beat Bobby Flay without getting really excited about food. And that's what I love about summer and outdoor entertaining. You know, that warm weather, it's just a signal that it's time to connect with friends and family over a great meal. And today I've got some tasty tips to make your next backyard bash a success.
All right, so what is one quick tip that, especially from a pro, that'll instantly upgrade our summer bash, man?
Listen, the party can't start until you light up that grill, which is why I love the Bic Easy Load Lighter. It's perfect for summer outdoor entertaining like backyard barbecues, camping, and more. The Bic Easy Load Lighter combines a multi-purpose lighter with a pocket lighter, so you never miss a moment to keep the outdoor fun going with just 3 easy steps. With child-resistant features, it helps ensure safety and meets Bic's stringent safety standards. It's the first reloadable multi-purpose lighter in their extensive portfolio, providing up to 15,000 lights when conveniently replaced up to 10 times with a Bic Maxi pocket lighter.
And do you have like a snack that's always like a crowd pleaser, something easy, no stress?
For sure, right? You know, you need some easy things like that, which is why, my go-to snack, I always want to bring bold flavors to any cookout. So my go-to is Pop and Soul. It's a new line of flavorful, out-of-the-ordinary bold nuts. They're savory, crunchy, totally addictive, and the perfect snack for guests to munch on while you're working the grill. 4 craveable flavors include jalapeno cashews, roasted elote peanuts, or try one of the Pop and Soul sea salt combinations like pepper cashews or vinegar almonds. And they're available exclusively at Target stores and online.
All right, what do you think makes outdoor cooking actually feel fun instead of just being, work with smoke?
Right? And the food's got to be good. Right? That's the key here. And seasoning is the key to all of it. Right? Great seasoning can take a dish from good to great. And that's a secret chefs know. And it's why so many chefs rely on tools like the AccuTaste. It's a seasoning dispenser that's been used in pro kitchens for years, now available for home cooks. It brings that chef-like experience to everyday meals and get-togethers. Just a few clicks deliver consistent flavor without any guesswork. It's that kind of tool you don't really know you need until you try it. And you can find your new sous chef, the AccuTaste, on Amazon or through this QR code right here.
Oh man, that's stepping up on Salt Bay, of course. All right, when we're setting the vibe, whether it's lights, layouts, or even, the smell, what do you think matters the most?
Okay, so you got all the food sorted. Now it's time to bring the party to the patio, and we do that with GE Sync Dynamic Effects Outdoor Light Strips. They elevate the vibe outside with rich colors, playful light effects, and unique shapes. It adds an elegant accent lighting around rails, steps, and decks, or use the flexible light strips and included lawn stakes to create fun art. You can also sync light effects to music or adjust them to set the mood from your smartphone. With all-weather construction, the GE Sync outdoor light strips are easy to install and designed to shine all night. They're available now on Amazon.
All right, and for the peeps that want to copy your setup, where can they go for more information and get some of your tips?
Yep, go check everything out at tipsontv.com.
Chef, thanks for joining me this morning, my friend.
Thank you, Dan.
Meth gators, drunk bears, and a herd of cocaine hippos. No, that's not your local karaoke bar or a rejected sci-fi script. It's real life. Wildlife biologist and adventurer Forrest Galante is exposing a bizarre way that humans' vices are wreaking havoc on the animal kingdom. In his new Discovery Channel series, Animals on Drugs, he digs into how these creatures got hooked, what it means for their ecosystems, and hopefully they could go into rehab. So Forrest joins us now. How can you help? Welcome to the show, Forrest. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm really well, Dan. Thanks for having me. Heck of an intro.
All right. Well, when people hear Animals on Drugs, they think it's a joke, and yeah, I made a few jokes out of that. But this is actually a very real and serious problem. What inspired you to tackle this story?
Yeah, great question. It is loud, it is salacious, but it is also a very timely and real problem. The inspiration came from me actually having a run-in my own neighborhood where a bear would repeatedly break into my trash and recycling, and one time came in and clearly showed a preference for alcohol. This set me on a whole path of research that ended up me discovering that human substances are having these negative consequences on animals and their ecosystems the world over, whether that's the illicit drug trade of cocaine with Pablo Escobar, bringing hippos in that are literally killing people and destroying habitat, or meth and ED drugs and things like that getting flushed down toilets in Florida that are leading to quite literal meth gators. It's having really large negative side effects on the animals. And my entire goal in life is to mitigate human-wildlife conflict. And this is a really large conflict that is, for the most part, going unspoken.
So you're saying some of these animals are actually seeking out the drugs and vices for themselves?
The only ones that we encountered that were generally seeking it out, and if you think about it, they have an instinctual drive to do so, were the bears. Now, with the advent of all of these new really sugary alcoholic drinks, whether that's alcoholic kombucha or ciders or the White Claws and seltzers of the world, those animals are hardwired to seek sugar to put on weight, those animals being bears, during the spring and summer to get ready for the winter. So they are genuinely going for alcohol. In the case of cocaine hippos, they're just a side effect of the cocaine industry. And when it comes to meth gators, they are really bioaccumulating methamphetamines from the waterways into the smaller fish, into the larger fish, that by the time they get into the alligators are having really high potency effects. So it's very case-by-case basis. For the most part, they're not seeking it out, but they are being exposed to it with or without their own choice.
Beyond the stories, what's the bigger message here? What do you think viewers can walk away with, like understanding the relationship between humans and wildlife?
The biggest message here, Dan, is that everything's connected, and everything we do, whether that's, literally taking Viagra to have a good night and then peeing in the toilet, which ends up in our waterways, which ends up literally stopping reproduction in certain animals. It's all connected. The ecosystem, the planet is all connected one way or another. And understanding that if we make better choices and are a little bit more responsible in how we discard things and how we manage getting rid of our own vices, then we can have a healthier planet, a better ecosystem if we just make those choices, because it does affect creatures that don't have a say in it.
All right, you're also part of Alien Sharks Death Down Under. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, again, it's a loud, salacious, silly title, but it's a really cool show and tell of sharks that don't get the spotlight very frequently. In that show, I believe we have 17 different species of elasmobranch. We look at some of the only venomous sharks in the world and even test the potency of that venom on the human system, which hasn't been tested before. So it's a really cool show. If you missed it on Discovery Channel, you can catch up on Discovery Plus or HBO Max. We've got other Shark Weeks, Animals on Drugs, anything to do with conservation and wildlife. I'm all about it, and I'm trying to put it out there for people to love.
Venomous sharks, animals on drugs. You have a very interesting career following all this stuff, man.
I do indeed. I'm very lucky. I get to follow my passion every day, which is to communicate wildlife conservation and science. And I just am so glad to hear when people fall in love with animals because of it.
Check out Animals on Drugs, Monday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Discovery Channel. And keep an eye out for Forrest and Alien Sharks Death Down Under and Florida's Death Beach, both airing during Shark Week. For more info, visit discovery.com or follow them on social media at Discovery. Hey, Forrest, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And that is it for New Mexico Rising. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, email me. That's newmexicorising@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. Go to our website. That's newmexicorising.com. And if you could please follow us on YouTube, that is at NM Rising. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. All the same stuff YouTubers say helps us out too. And until next week, that was New Mexico Rising.